If you're looking to travel this season, pack your patience and lots of extra cash. A new survey shows spring break 2023 may be the busiest travel season ever for the airline industry. So what can you expect? Here's CNN's Shelley Molashi.
Spring is here, and the airline industry has been bracing for what it says will be the busiest travel season ever. According to a new forecast from Trade Group, Airlines for America, 10 major airlines, including Delta, Southwest, and JetBlue, are expected to carry a record number of passengers this season.
We can pretty well expect that those predictions to come true. And the reason why is that for each of the 2 months so far in 2023, you have seen travel numbers exceed the same month in 2019.
So what does this mean for you? Travel expert Scott Keyes says expect more of what's become the usual. Longer lines at airports and packed popular destinations. Meanwhile, AAA's spring travel survey suggests many families are taking multi-generational vacations.
Families are making up for lost time. Grandparents traveling with their adult children and their grandkids.
Experts say spring is seen as a critical test for the airline industry, which is still working to recover and return to pre-pandemic capacity levels despite robust demand.
I think you're seeing a renormalization of travel in 2023, both for spring break and beyond.
If you still haven't booked, here's one tip to find a spring break deal. Consider arbitrage. If you live near a city that has a different spring break schedule, consider booking flights from there instead.
With different academic calendars, you're going to see a different spring break week and substantially cheaper fares out of those cities.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Shelley Molashi.
Here to discuss spring break travel and travel in general is David Fishman, owner of Cadillac Travel Group. David, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
thank you for having me.
I'll speak for everybody here that's watching. I think when you look to book a flight right now, they are stone expensive. And is it they're trying to make up for lost time, the airlines, or what would you say is behind some of this?
Well, there's a multitude of things. First of all, yes, the airlines did take a hit during COVID. They are at or will soon be surpassing pre-COVID numbers, but they have excuses, to be very honest. They have, not having enough employees. They have the war in Ukraine, which just really blasted the prices through the roof. They have supply chain. They have, recession. They have every excuse, inflation, every excuse in the book. And they're using their advantage. And the thing that they have, the best thing they have going for them is people are locked up in their houses for a year, 2 years, and they're going to travel. And they know it. Because they know it, they can charge you whatever. Why should airline tickets cost 200-300% more when, eggs cost 55% more or a pumpkin costs 12% more?
Right.
It doesn't really equate real well, but people are taking the tickets because they want to go away.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, too, when you look at prices from DTW to go somewhere tropical right now on spring break, when many families and many kids have off from school and families want to use that time to take away, when you look at it from DTW to go out of the country, even to go to Florida, coach tickets are $800, $900, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, you name it. They are up there just to go to Florida. But if you were to look at, let's say, another big city at this time of the year when a lot of schools maybe aren't off and it's a different week, it's a lot cheaper. And so what is the reasoning behind that? Is it kind of a price gouging situation where these airlines know, hey, a lot of schools in Metro Detroit, for example, are off this week, leading to a lot of travel?
Well, airline prices come out about 330 days ahead of time. So as soon as that opens up, in particular for spring break or other times, they block a lot of group space. And so it's all automated. They know what's coming.
You're saying the airlines know that, okay, kids in whatever school district here or the mass school districts have off this weekend, and they do that. They do that research and they know.
Well, no, it's more about when the gate opens. So like 300 days out, I can block from Detroit to Punta Cana, okay? And so if I block that outbound, but I can't block until 300 days out on the return, as soon as they start seeing those numbers hit, it's almost automated. It just starts going up. So you block 50 seats at $350 the first way, and then you're going to get that return. All of a sudden, the return's $750.
Right.
Because they know. They know what the demand. It's a Saturday to Saturday. It's all automated, and it's inventory controlled, and it's controlled by computers.
You know, and there's been talk of obviously mergers and airlines buying other airlines that could really be bad for potentially the consumer if there's not enough airlines and enough competition. So I'll ask you, is there enough options here in Metro Detroit? I mean, right now when you look at, okay, you have Delta, you have Southwest, American, but a lot of them, there's not a lot of nonstops out of the country. You have certain parts of Mexico, not a lot of options. Punta Cana, I believe Puerto Rico, and that's really about it as far as somewhere tropical where a lot of people want to go this time of the year.
You'll get seasonal though. Your Cabo will be a seasonal. Puerto Vallarta will be a seasonal. So sometimes you get those seasonal nonstops that will go into the market.
But is there enough options?
Well, there's not enough options because there's really, besides Delta, the next competitor has somewhere around 3 or 4% of the lift. Do the math. It's
well, and that's
simple.
what I'm saying. There's not enough options from airlines that are
Correct.
working out of here. So do you think DTW needs another potential, I don't want to say hub here, but needs another potential major airline to step up their flights?
If you fly out of New York, Chicago, and LA, there's competition. Those are major markets with competition. None of those are hubs, ironically, although there's sort of a hub in Chicago for United. But there's competition in those markets, and so the pricing out of Chicago, as you know, you can fly from Detroit to Chicago and fly out many places a lot less expensive because there's competition. There's very little competition in the Detroit market. And the hub and spoke system is set up under the guides of efficiency, but tends to lend itself to lack of competition, and it affects the consumer's ability to find great rates, especially if you want to fly nonstop.
So we're sitting here complaining about how expensive prices are for flights. What are some ways that the person watching tonight can go, okay, well, we want to book a flight. We're not going to spend 1,100 hours to go to Florida. What are some ways to get around it? Is it booking early? Is it waiting to book? You hear the theory of booking maybe on a Monday or a Tuesday. Is that all nonsense?
Well, like I said, because it's all controlled almost by computers, booking early now. It used to be that if there were some seats left on planes, airlines would like kind of dump them off. It doesn't work that way anymore. So the sooner you know you want to go, book it. You're going to get your best value if you book ahead of time. Now, does it matter which day you book on? No. Does it matter which day you fly on? Yes. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are the least will cost you the least amount to fly.
Really?
Yes, because those are the lowest demand days are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So if you fly in those days.
Saturdays, really? I find that hard to believe because people, okay, that's their first day off.
Right, but they usually go out on Friday for weekends, come back on a Sunday. So Saturday tends to be a little bit better. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are obviously the best, but Saturday is better than the other days of the week. Because for business, they'll go out on Mondays, back on Fridays, so those days are really busy. Sometimes Thursdays aren't bad, but you get the long weekend people Thursdays to Sunday. It's ironic that Saturday is like a whole, except when ironically, you'll find the nonstops on the seasonals Saturday to Saturday, because they know those are dates that usually people don't fly. So if you can be flexible, flexibility is the key. Getting your tickets early, okay, and flying on usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are going to usually get your best bang for the buck.
And sometimes we hear bundling, and I know you're a travel agent, so you may not like this, but you look at like an Expedia, for example, like that site. If you bundle so much so, you will save potentially 7-10%, something like that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, ironically, I sell Expedia. I sell all the internet stuff. I have availability to, so I can take care of it for my clients instead of them doing it themselves. So there's a big value there because you have an advocate and you have no one knows which one to go to. So it's whether Delta Vacations, Apple Vacations, Expedia, Classic, I can go through the list. But bundling is really a great thing and used to be better. It's gotten worse, especially out of Detroit because Delta now dominates the market. So bundling will save you money. It tends to save you money on the air, in particular internationally. It saves you a lot more money. Not as much domestically, but it will save you money. And if you can tie in that hotel with the air, yeah, you can get discounts.
And obviously, we've talked so much about the prices increasing and just how expensive they are right now. A couple things for you. Do you think it'll go down over the next few years once everything kind of settles? We're coming out of the pandemic. People are starting to travel again. Do you think it'll start to settle down?
I hope so, but it really will be based on, I think, demand. And the demand, I mean, I watched this through the pandemic. I've been doing this 40 years now, and I've seen all, 9/11 and SARS and Zika, the advent of the internet, and I've never seen a floodgate open like this. People really are going to take those dream vacations, those bucket list vacations. They're going to travel. They're really worried because they think that they might be stuck in their house again. So as long as they have that high demand, I don't know how much it's going to affect the pricing. I hope with the war in Ukraine and oil prices coming back down to normal, we might get some normalization of it. I actually think that if we get more competition in the market, we'll get some lowering of rates. But if the demand continues to go at the rates it's going, 2023 will be by far the largest travel year ever in the travel industry, ever.
You talked about 9/11. So many things have changed. If I can ask you one last question, how has the travel experience changed from, let's say even 10 years ago? We know how it's changed since 9/11 with security, but how have things changed from 10 years ago and even since the pandemic?
Well, if you go back to the beginning of air travel, you had like white glove service, and it was really experience. The experience has become more of a mass market experience. You feel like somewhat like you're on a bus a lot of times.
I've said that before. You're on a bus with wings. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the service has dropped a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's an enjoyable experience. It used to be something to get excited about, flying on a plane. The good news is it seems like many of the airlines are trying to go back to giving better service, better food, a better experience for people. So I think in the long run, that will start to happen again when they feel like, we have to please our customers. We can't just throw them in a flying bus and send them away.
I certainly hope so. I barely fit into these seats anymore. I'm not even that tall, but my knees are up against the. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, David Fishman. Great insight there on summer and spring break travel.